Around Kansas, brought to you by
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Hey, we're back again, and still no coffee, but hey,
Doggone, the service around here, I'm telling you what.
So, let's see, you have another story that you want to talk about.
You know, I have images of roads all over my house, and I have just always been drawn to roads. I love to travel. There's nothing that tickles me more than just getting on the road. And of course, Kansas is blessed with roads and trails, and you've done a lot of research on some of those roads. And of course, before they were highways, like I-70, they were trails, they were military roads, they were all kinds of commerce trails, you know, the Santa Fe Trail and all this good stuff, the military roads. Before that, they were Indian passing and buffalo trails, you know, so all those trails just keep evolving. And one that we're going to take a look at today is the Smoky Hill Trail, which a lot of people may not remember. But those of you who are Western movie fans, when you would see all those movies with the stagecoach attacks, and, you know, they were always portraying, you know, the stage would get robbed. That was the Butterfield Overland Dispatch in many cases, and so we'll talk about that today. The Smoky Hill Trail had been used as early as 1858. It was 500 miles long, but it was still 100 miles shorter than the other routes across the prairies to Denver, and could shave 1 to 2 weeks off the travel time. It earned a bad reputation early on, though. The road was not clearly marked west of Fort Riley, and there was little water for the last 130 miles. Travelers often arrived reciting ghastly stories of danger, hunger, and death along the Starvation Trail. But in 1865, David Butterfield saw the Smoky Hill Trail as an opportunity to create a thriving business. Butterfield was born in Maine, but was fascinated with the West. After the Civil War, he moved to Atchison, where he began to seek financial backing for the Butterfield Overland Dispatch, or the BOD. Freight wagons and stages could reach Denver from Atchison in only 12 days. The cost for traveling aboard a BOD coach, $175 per person, one way, and was not considered extravagant. Eventually, 39 stations were established and manned along the trail west of Fort Riley at an average interval of about 12 miles. Some of these were home stations, where passengers could get meals at an added cost of 50 cents to $1 per meal. The trip was fairly comfortable from Atchison to Fort Ellsworth, but from there westward the terrain was rougher. In addition, Cheyennes and Arapahoes took exception to this invasion of their homeland and began to attack coaches and stations. Initially, there was no military protection west of Fort Ellsworth, but as the attacks increased, the government established forts along the trail. Fort Fletcher was established, and Camp Pond Creek, later renamed Fort Wallace, was established near the Kansas-Colorado state line. Losing money, Butterfield eventually sold out to Ben Holliday, who was running a similar business along the Platte River Road. Tribes continued harassing the travelers, but it would be the coming of the railroad that ended the stage and freight traffic along the Smoky. The Smoky Hill Trail Association holds its annual conference October 16th through the 18th in Atchison, and among the speakers are Jerry DeBaker, Butterfield's descendant. Visit the group's website for more information.
Well, that was a kind of a fun day, so anyway, we have to say goodbye. So I'm Frank.
It was tough without the coffee, though. I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere
around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.